And Governor, I want to ask you about one other thing. You got some national attention for Senate Bill 2536. This essentially bars trans kids, trans women, trans girls from competing in designated girls' sports in colleges and schools in your state. I want to ask first, and I know the message you were trying to send, like you said, to girls in the state, that they would have a fair they could have a fair shake when they're competing. And you think that possibly a trans girl would have some kind of just naturally physical advantage. So the question is, first, is this an issue in your state? Is there any case of this happening and someone's complaining of a trans girl competing? Because some say this is a solution in search of a problem.
Right. Well, first of all, I never imagined that I'd be sitting here talking to you or anybody else about this issue. And but for the fact that President Biden, in one of his first actions as president, that he instituted an executive order which mandated certain things for biological males. And in our state, I have heard from many coaches, I've heard from many school administrators, and they're very concerned about that. And so I have three daughters, TJ. One's 16, one's 14, and one's 9. And in this country, we have fought for years and years to ensure equal opportunity for female athletes. I believe, and I believe it's very true, and I believe that most Americans believe that if you allow biological males to compete on the athletic field with biological females, then biological females are going to be put at a disadvantage. They're going to have less opportunities for success, and they're going to have less opportunities for things like athletic scholarships and beyond. And so while it's certainly not a topic that I envisioned ever talking about, our legislature passed a piece of legislation, as you mentioned. I signed it into law, but we only are having this conversation because of the actions of the executive order by the president as one of the first things that he did upon taking office.
But again, I think I hear you right that it's not necessarily come up as an issue in your state. You talk about President Biden there, but do you consider a trans girl a girl?
I believe if you are a biological male, you are a biological male.
So no, a trans girl is not a girl in your mind?
I believe that a biological male is a biological male and that they should not be competing with biological females for athletic opportunities at the high school level.
And I understand you talked about your daughters there, and talking as a dad, certainly people can understand that. Do you worry about the message that's sent maybe to the transgender community, and maybe a transgender kid in school there maybe doesn't even want to compete in sports and feels like this type of legislation targets him or her in an unfair way?
Well, this legislation is not intended to target anyone in an unfair way. It is a way in which to ensure that biological females have opportunities on the athletic field, which ultimately will lead to them to opportunities for scholarships and other things at the collegiate level and beyond.